Okay, here we are again, back down on site on the Halvorsen. You got to excuse the noise, it is a work site, the boys are working. What I want to show you, we did some painting yesterday, so I'm going to show you first the air vents, which we had to repaint because the manufacturer, despite giving them the right colour code, they painted it a different colour. So come and have a look. This is one of our temporary little spray booths that we make. So when you're doing a lot of large vessels and things like that, you've got to compromise a little bit. So we actually make our own spray booths on site. These are the air vents for the end room. So they've been calculated out to flow the right amount of air. They're actually made in Australia, but very similar to the Delta T system that's used over in America. A lot of work in preparing all of the louvers and that to be glossed, but if you have a look, you'll see the guys did a fantastic job. Get right in there, you won't see any blemishes whatsoever in the paintwork. So in one of the earlier videos we showed you we started on mocking up the galley. We've gone further along now, so you can see drawers here. This is the dishwasher, and then what we've done, we've had to move the hot plates to this side to do with some clearances and better use of space. This will be where the overhead cabinet's going to be. That's just to hold it in place so we know the height, so don't take any notice of that. This is a template for our Korean top. You can see sink in place here, so it's actually sitting in there. Then we've got the oven here in place, overheads, and if you want to come around a little bit further on, you'll see. So we've started to put the bulkhead in. So this here will be the corner, and then we'll have the fridge sitting in here. Okay. The Scotty started making up this here. We've got a big hole in the countertop there, and that's going to be, we're going to put a rubbish bin. So we've actually moulded up we moulded up for doing a drop-in rubbish bin there, which will have a Korean top on it, because you need a rubbish bin and we didn't want it just falling around everywhere. If you want to pan up, you'll see that we've tented the bow of the boat, and we'll go up and have a look there because we shot the final gloss on the tow rail yesterday. So what we're looking at here is the kickers for the salon area. So Rudy's been working on this. So this is the lower part here, and then the cabinetry gets built up on top of this. This will come out about 50 millimetres or 2 inches, and we'll have ventilation underneath, which will be, at this stage, the return air for the air conditioning system. Moving around here, you want to pan the camera around, Ron. This is template for the teak. So we've made up the templates for the teak tow rail right around the bow. So this is going to be the shape that we're going to be cutting out of about 3-inch thick teak wood. You see some of the doors here. What we're looking at here is we're actually making a moulding up for the window box, or like a pelmet in the owner's stateroom. So we're going to go up and have a look at that in a minute. These are some doors that have been in the polishing process. So that's a term used mainly for varnish. So this is a 2-pack clear. That's been sanded, that's been polished. That's just getting refinished at the moment. And you can see that we've got a lot of door frames still to go. Okay, so what we're looking at here is some pigeonholes that are going in one of the hanging lockers in the forward accommodation. You can see we've used cedar for all of the exposed surface. That'll be cedar lined as well. But this is all cedar in here, which is again traditional for doing hanging lockers, which I've mentioned many times before. It's just a better use of space, and later on we'll sort of show you with these in the vessel as well, so you'll be able to see what's going on. And this is some more templates for the lockers. So we'll go up into the vessel and have a look, and you'll be able to sort of understand where this is going. What you're looking at there is we had a bit of an office on board the vessel, but now that we're building in pretty much every cabin on the vessel, we've moved to a little oxygen tent at the bottom of the staircase. So here we are up on the top deck. You can see that we're starting to prep the sides of the flybridge for more fairing and obviously paint preparation. What we got here, this section here is where the air horns are going to be mounted. So we've actually made up some bracketry and that on the inside to mount the Kallenberg triple trumpet air horns. This section here, that's where the navigation light's going to be mounted. Because of the the side of the flybridge is not vertical. We're actually making wedges, so that'll all be glassed in to look nice. And we've got a very nice polished stainless steel traditional navigation lights to use on the vessel. One of the other things I mentioned in some of the earlier videos where there was a lot of issue with rot in the boat from through drains, cockpit drains leaking. So what we did is we've actually done the scuppers like this. So you'll see that there's no fittings or anything like that. It's totally sealed. We made a moulding of the shape. The water will run out, and there's actually, you can't see because I've got green tape, there's actually a gutter there. So the water will actually run right to the back of the flybridge before it goes over the side. And we've done the same on the main deck, which we'll show you at a later time. Here we are up on the foredeck. Yesterday we shot the final gloss on the tow rail, as you can see here. The bowsprit plinth that we've made. We've also got the upstands for the cleats. Fairlead goes in here. That's the spurling pipes for the anchor winch and for the electrical controls. And we also did a little bit of work on the hatch gutters here for the front lounge, and also where our ventilation goes for the forward cabin. Okay, so an update from last time is we've now faired all of the salon deck and we've sealed it. So you can see that with a different top coat on here. I made reference in one of the earlier videos about battens, and you need a datum in which to fair to or to sand to. So this here, you can see the light coloured filler there. So in the past week, we've actually faired all the galley deck, and we've epoxy fibre laminated it, and we've done the bulkheads as well. So you'll see, you look up in here, you can actually see all of the fiberglass matting on here. We've run tape into the corners, and then the bottom is all sealed. We wanted a couple of things. This is an area that is probably the largest without bulkheads beneath us, because it's the engine room. So you've got the massive amount of area here without a lot of support at the moment. So we wanted to strengthen it a lot. We're going to have a big fridge, 700 litre fridge sitting here. It's a galley, a lot of heavy gear. And we found that there was a little bit of bounce in this, which we wanted to take out. The air vents we showed you earlier, they're the ones that go into the holes here. And then we've got ducting that then goes down into the engine room on both sides. That side there's still got a bit of protection on it, but that'll come off. So probably tomorrow or early next week, we'll start fitting the engine vents. Okay, so carrying on in the cabin, we have now put the Superyacht veneer to the bathroom bulkhead. We're now working on here. So we've veneered the bulkhead here. We've just got to do the frame here, and then the hanging locker, so that's just got to be finished off. There's going to be a air handler for the air conditioning underneath. Actually, it's not there, it's going to be in there. Ducted around, will be coming out the top with the air out, and a return air at the bottom here. And the only other thing that we've got to look at now is we're doing a fascia panel to go over the windows, going over that. I showed you just earlier that we were doing a moulding for the window pelmet or curtain pelmet. That's going to be here. So that's going to come down, curve in here, which will hide that, and that'll just finish off this section here. That's going to be also in eggshell gloss white, the same as the window box is at the moment, and then the rest of it will be a lot of high gloss silky oak and leather. Now we're in the twin berth cabins just forward of the owner's stateroom. We showed you the finished window pelmet and window sill. This is in progress, so we're still looking at lamination and fairing and getting it ready for the final paint stage. Underneath here you'll see some air conditioning chiller lines coming through, and this here, the big green hole, is where the Naiad stabiliser is going to be mounted. Okay, as you can see, silky oak's starting to pop up everywhere. We've now veneered the front bulkhead and the rear bulkhead of the captain's cabin. In here is a hanging locker. You can see we've started to put some shelves in. On this side here is the pigeonholes like we showed you downstairs earlier, and then at the top of it will be an electrical subboard which we're making here. Again, that gets lined with cedar because in the hanging locker you can see the cutout for the actual electrical board that's going to go in there. And up on the side here you can see the round portholes. So I mentioned earlier that we've gone from rectangular portholes to round portholes in the forward accommodation, which is traditionally the cruise area. So that's pretty much a wrap up for this week, and we'll be back in another week or two with an update further.